Hello and welcome to Stockton Junction. Today's video is going to be about building one of these optical train coaches for the research department. As you can see, some pictures there of what we're going to build. So we're going to start off with one of these VDA wagons. So the first thing we need to do, as you can see, there's all this ribbing on the ends and here. So what we're going to do is going to take all of that off. As you can see, I've started this end just cutting away all of the ribs that are there. That'll be sanded with very fine wet and dry paper. I'm also going to do the same here. I'm going to scrape these ribs off of here and then put another plate of metal over there, as if you look at the sides, they're dead flush. Obviously there's a lot to go on with the process of this model. I'm not going to sit there doing the video of me just cutting away bits of that and sanding. That'd be rather boring. So what I'll do is I'll do this video in stages and show you each stage as it progresses. So obviously I've got to finish off cutting that off, cut these sides off, and then I'll come back with the next stage. We'll go a bit at a time on building this. I'll show you how you can make one with one of these VDA wagons. Should be quite a simple build, really. It's not going to be too difficult. There's a few little things I've noticed about the original compared to the prototype. If you see here, this has got full ribs in there, whereas the model only has little bits. So what I may do, it also doesn't have any of this handle here, so I might remove that, and I may fill these with full ribs. I haven't decided yet. There's only one issue that I do see, and that is these bogies here, because the model that I'm going to build it on has moving section here. If I wanted to build that, I might have to take off all these bits, although on the prototype there they don't have those, so I'll probably end up cutting away these pieces here as well and trying to fit all those little ribs in there and make up this piece here as well if we can. I want to try and get it to look as similar to the original as possible. Obviously it's not going to be dead 100% accurate, but we'll do the best we can with this. And this is the first project of several that I have planned. I have this book, which is a very good book, and it's 25 years of railway research, and it's exactly what I'm looking for, because I have this loco here, but none of these coaches, I've not seen any available in this colour scheme, in this livery. So something else I'm going to be doing at a later date is respraying a load of coaches to make this livery up to go with this loco that I have. There's another project that I will be making, and that is this one here, which is the Cyclops. I will do a separate video on that. I already have the base wagon ready for it, and this should be a reasonably easy build, just using a bit of plastic hard. The only thing I'm going to think I might struggle with is getting this rounded end roof done, but we'll look at that later on. I may have to try and find a donor wagon or coach to get the domed end roof, but as that's the second project I'll be working on, we'll look at that later. I also want to build this one as well. It's Decapod. Looks quite an interesting wagon. These are the sort of things I really like. I think they're interesting. They give some variation on a layout. So again, like this is the color scheme livery of the one that's on the front page. So something like that I might make up as well. There's going to be quite a few, so there's a lot of stuff in this book that give you a lot of ideas and some good reference material. So anyway, I shall come back to you when I'm ready to do the next stage of this, and I'll see you shortly. Right, so I've sanded all these edges off here, this part and this part here. We don't need to worry about this center part because that'll be removed. I've given this a flush sand on that side and on that end as well. So the next job is going to be to cut out this center part here. So what we're going to do is, using these lines there, the gap is just literally, as you can see, I've started there, start cutting through the plastic. Now this will take quite some time, and obviously I'm not going to do that on camera. It'll take a while. I'm literally just going to keep scoring at it very slowly over time until it eventually does all come off. So that will take a while, so we'll come back when that's done. The other thing I will do is, once I've got that line there and there, I will mask off a straight line across the top, because we're going to need to cut the roof as well across there. So come back to you when I've got these bits cut through, and we'll move on to the next stage. So the next stage, I've cut out these sidelines here. We need to cut the roof lines. As you can see, I've started scoring them. What I've done is I've layered about 4 layers of this masking tape so that it's dead flush there and there with the lines I've cut, to give us a nice straight line to cut across. Same on that side. What you want to be doing is scoring with a very nice sharp scalpel blade very gently across there. And I put the tape this side so that if I slip and go this way, it doesn't matter, but that sort of starts to give us a line. But the key point to cutting out the roof is to literally, which I can't do, literally very slowly, just start to gently score at it until the whole line, until you've got a nice line across the whole roof there. You can then take the tape off if you want. I prefer to keep it on, as it protects this side of the model. And for obviously this, because it's just tape, I'm just using cheapy old masking tape. If I was doing any painting work and stuff that requires decent tape, I use this modeling tape, which I got from Green Stuff World. It's pretty good. So that's the next stage. I've also started on this side to remove these bits here, as you can see this side. I'll also need to remove all of these bits. There's also these little tabs on the end there, they need to come off. So basically this whole bottom edge will be flush, because on the model that we're going to be copying, so I'll just get my book. As you can see, none of those parts are there, so we're going to have to try and model these parts, and then there's all these other bits underneath. Just one thing to bear in mind is that if you are doing a more modern one, the network rail one, it does have differences on the build compared to this version. So obviously be aware that there are differences So you need to get your research first. I have gone online. I've got a lot of images online from the for the optical car or the structure gauging car. There are a lot of the Network Rail photos, but not so many of the British Rail research liveried ones. So it's quite hard to find. But obviously, make sure do your research first. I mean, it's just little things like that in there. You can see is flush, but on the opposite side, there's another one of these bits and some other pieces there, so it's not dead flush. So that's things to take into consideration. Do you want to go as far as modeling those sort of things? On the Network Rail one, there is a cab corridor connector bit on one end and something different on the other end. So I can't find any images of the British Rail one that shows open ends, only images side on like this. So it's very hard to see what is on there, but I have got sort of one image that shows one with just a flat end, so I'm not pretty sure yet, so a bit more research on that before I get to that stage of the model will be needed. The problem is finding the imagery, because obviously this was in the 80s and 90s. So anyway, that's the next stage. So I shall continue cutting these off to get this center part off the train, and I shall continue to remove all the underside edging here on the outer edges, and then I'll come back to you when we're ready to start the next stage of the model.